What's going on, everybody? My name is Zigablaze, and in today's video I'm going to teach you 5 tips to help you win more games in Rainbow Six Siege. So tip number 1 is going to be all about callouts and what to say and what not to say when giving callouts to your teammates to help improve what you communicate to your team and help you win rounds. So when giving callouts, try to stay away from saying things like he's over there, or they're in that room, or he's behind you, or that they're next to you. Anything like this is a bit too general and it's going to throw your teammates off. In any given situation, your teammate might be in a position where they aren't able to be aware of your current surroundings or fight, or they might not just be concentrated on what you're dealing with currently. Because of this, when you give general callouts to your team, more often than not, they get lost in translation and it ends up getting your team killed or leads to misplays. The more specific you are, the more likely your team will be able to use the information you give to them to secure a kill or act accordingly to win rounds. My tip here is really just to actively drone and learn the names of the rooms that you play in. This leads into my second tip, which is actively droning. This phrase might be short, but it's also packed with a lot of meaning. For starters, use your drones in the prep phase. It blows my mind how many players leave their drones in spawn for the entirety of the round, and it's completely wasted. On offense, you're given access to 2 drones, and these 2 drones need to be treated like your lifeline. You get 3 hearts in Rainbow Six Siege, 2 of which are your drones, and the 3rd being your operator. When you lose both your drones, you lose an infinite amount of intel on your opponent's whereabouts, as well as their current strategy they're implementing. When drones are left in good positions that are advantageous for your team, good team members will utilize them efficiently, and the odds of your winning increases. Basically, what I have to say here is try and get your drones up into spots that are high up and that mock defensive cameras. What I mean by that is place your drones high and in spots that watch over rooms, corridors, and other places you might see defenders be roaming or situated in. These tips also apply to defensive operators when it comes to Valkyrie cams, Maestro, and Echo cameras. My third tip is for you to start believing that you are as useful to your teammates dead as you are alive. Now I have to say, getting into this mindset and staying in it is admittedly kind of difficult, even for myself who has logged over 300 levels into Rainbow Six. However, if you can master it, you will see a lot of success. Now what this entails is 1, not being toxic when you die, and instead remaining calm to give callouts to your team. Siege is a mental game as much as a physical one, and as soon as you add negativity to your team by complaining about your death or being loud because you're upset, you put your team down without even knowing it. This can lead to your team not being able to hear someone's footsteps or someone coming around the corner on them. It could also lead to miscommunication and a lack of knowledge that would otherwise account for an easy trade or the win in the round. When you die and you can give calm, precise callouts, you'll in turn keep your team calm, focused, and in the game. The second reason you're as useful to your team is because although you're physically dead in the round, it's your turn to play intel for your team for the remainder of the round. More often than not, I see players die and go AFK or just spectate their teammates, when they could be taking that time to hop onto the cameras and give the location of the enemy team. Once you're able to die and remain calm so that you can give callouts to your teammates upon death and start to play cameras for your team, you will see much more success in your matches. Now these last 2 parts are going to be split up into tip 4 and 5 because we are dealing with time management. And believe it or not, this works very differently on offense and on defense. Now time management is a huge factor in what teams win and which teams lose. On offense, your main focus should be clearing the map of roamers and securing positions around your objective to apply pressure to the defense. The clock is your enemy on attack. The reason I say this is because it's fighting against you at all times. If you haven't eliminated the entire defensive team or completed your objective, whatever it may be based off your game mode, by the time the clock hits 0, you will lose the round. There have been far too many times I have seen what I like to call 1-second warriors. These are team members that will hold angles for 2 minutes and 45 seconds straight without moving, only to realize they have 15 seconds on the clock to push into a site that has 4 defenders alive and only 2 real entrances. 99.9% of the time, this attempt will fail miserably. The reason for this is because you either have to push in those last few seconds or you automatically lose the round, so the defenders simply have to wait for you to show up right on time. How convenient for them. Learning to utilize your first minute or two of the round to clear the building out and get a good positioning on your opponent to plant the diffuser or push onto the site will get you into a much better habit of not being a 1-second warrior anymore. When you push onto a site and you leave yourself an ample amount of time for breathing room if you need to fall back and resituate yourself, you have a better chance at winning. Also, your opponent will not always 100% expect you to push onto site early into the round opposed to later in the round when it's expected. Now for tip number 5, we're talking about time management on defense. On defense, the clock is on your side. The closer the clock is to 0, the better chance you have of winning on defense. On more occasions than I'd like to admit, I've been in situations where my team has been up 5 players versus 2 in games of bomb, and everyone decides that they grow the largest pair of nuts on the planet and they go aggro for the last 2 enemies to kill them. This almost always results in offense picking off 3 of my teammates and instantly putting me back into a position where they are tied up, or it's in their favor. If your opponent is running the clock and they don't apply pressure to you on defense, most of the time the best move you can make is to just hide, hold angles, and play for time. It'll result in your team having numbers, which puts you into an advantage, and it forces the offense to push onto your gunfight. What I mean by your gunfights are the gunfights that you have the best chance of winning in. So there you guys go. Those are 5 tips that will 100% help you improve at Rainbow Six Siege and start getting more wins. Now, I only shared about 5 tips today with you guys, but I have plenty more that I could share with you in the future. So if you guys do enjoy this style of video and you would like to see more tip videos like this going forward, I would love to make more informational videos, whether that be guides or other tip videos. So just let me know down in the comments. Leave a like. Feel free to share this if you did enjoy it. And as always, I love all of you guys, and I will see all of you beautiful faces later. Peace out.